today's podcast is going to be a little bit different than normal. I've got 4 people on. The first one is Jason Slabber. Jason and I met, I'd say 2 months ago, when I was doing a talk at a company called Derifco about mental health. And afterwards, Jason came up to me and said that he is on this weight loss journey. He's already lost 20 kilograms. Jason's turned at 69.8 kilograms, so 0.2 shy from 170 kilograms. When I met him, he was just over 150, and he's now already at 145.8. In other words, he already lost 24 kilograms. So he needed a few things. He needed some help. He needed some assistance in terms of diet. And I got a few people involved, and on the podcast, there's 2 of them. The first one is Danielle Roberts. Danielle Roberts is a dietitian. She's also working for the Sharks Rugby Union, helping the guys eat healthy. And Bradley Osborne, also known as Ozzy. Ozzy is a very well-known personal trainer in Durban, KZN, and he works from the Virgin Active in Gateway. And all 4 of us are going to tonight make a plan and plan the future for Jason's weight loss and program. So, with no further ado, please enjoy the wonderful chat I had with these people. I do apologize for some of the connections that I had with them. Some of them wasn't so great, but let's hope you enjoy the talk. I've got 2 sponsors for this podcast. The first one is a social media management company in Ballito called Pistol and Honey. You can find them on pistolandhoney.co.za. They can help you with anything from a website to managing your social media, the whole spectrum. Give them a hookup. The second company is a company called Paul Botner's Music. They sell music equipment, sound, and they hooked me up with this wonderful rig over here, the Rode arm extension, the Rode microphone, as well as these beautiful headphones. So if you are starting a podcast and need any equipment, hook them up. Their website is called www.bothners.co.za. Lekker. Are you at the gym now?
Yeah, I'm just in an assessment room. So I've locked myself in here so no one should come in.
Lock that door.
I think he lives there and he goes home just to literally to sleep.
Yeah, literally. Been here since 5 a.m. So another day.
So
long day.
So let's start with that. So you at Virgin, right? At Virgin Gateway.
100%.
And tell us a little bit. Go for it.
Yeah. So basically, I'm a personal trainer here at Virgin Active Gateway. This is obviously my starting ground. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching here, from sports-specific training to general population transformation. I've obviously got a variety of clients here. And but obviously one amazing client, Big J. So all my focus is going into making his dream happen.
That's lekker, man. So
Sweet.
Let's quickly go through Danny. Danny, maybe just introduce yourself and then we'll go to the big dog.
Yeah, so Danielle, I'm a dietitian, registered dietitian. I do a lot of clinical work, more in chronic diseases. So I do a lot of diabetes, inflammation, a lot of cancer, and then a lot of sports nutrition, which we're looking at now more with Jason. So that's quite cool. And I also do quite a bit of genetic testing, which is very, very interesting. One day we'll have to have a chat about that.
Yeah, listen, there's so much happening in that field right now. I mean, I've just followed a few things online as well. It is fascinating. And you at my old office, the Sharks Rugby Union.
Your old hunting ground. I think I just missed you, AJ. I started there in 2009, 9.
Yeah.
So I've been here a long time.
I left, I think, at 2000, about that time, I left.
2008, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so nothing's changed.
Is it?
Much.
Just that we won more when I was there, I think.
Possibly, yes. Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong about that, AJ.
Yeah, that's possibly true. Yeah. I've got a very nice jersey actually from one of the Curry Cups, which all the guys signed. I must actually check if your name's on it.
Oh boy. I've got the worst signature. I'd always had, like, you know, when you also sometimes when you do signing sessions and you sign a lot of stuff and then you start with a nice signature and by the end of the 20-30 minutes you've signed
It looks like a doctor's signature.
It's sometimes just a line, and I've seen some jerseys afterwards where I'm going, is that I don't know, that looks like me, but I'm not so sure.
No, I'm gonna check tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah,
And then
I've got a 2008 jersey.
And then we've got the big dog, Jason. Jason, maybe just
Present.
yourself and tell us how we met, you and I.
Well, okay, so I'm Jason, aka Big J, and I'm not a professional like the two are. Well, actually, the three of you guys are. I'm just a regular, plain old Joe, and I have battled with weight issues for some time. It got a lot worse when I moved in back with my dad after he and my stepmom both got sick. They both got different forms of cancer. And Daniel and myself, my wife Danielle, we sold our place, we sold our little house, and we moved back in with the old folks. But our eating setup at home is not great. The little kitchenette that we have in our flat is inefficient, to say the least. So we pretty much just eat as we can. But as to how I met up with AJ. AJ came to Derivco to do a talk about master disaster. And I've told the story probably, I don't know, 30, 40 times already to friends and family. But what I told AJ on the day was that nothing that he said wasn't anything that we hadn't already heard. It just seemed to resonate so much more true the way he brought it across. And I was very grateful. There were a lot of things that he said that stood out more so than any TED Talk or any other podcast that I'd listened to about coaching and life coaching in general. And I went back to my desk after he finished speaking, and I sat down at my desk and I said, I should really just go back and shake the dude's hand and say thank you. It was a really cool talk. And I thought, bugger it, he's probably so heartful of oaks coming up to him and saying thank you, or talking or shaking hand and wanting to meet this, this great ex-South African rugby player of ours. And so I thought, bugger, I'm not going to do it. And I sat down, carried on. I opened up my PC, carried on working, and this little voice inside of me just said, no, it's just go say hello. And one of the catalysts to the conversation was these little paracord keyrings that I make. And I had a whole bunch with me, and I had one that was still in Springbok colors. And I thought, I'm going to gift the oak a little something, a little token of gratitude. And so I went back to the meeting room, and he was busy chatting with someone at that time. And I waited my turn. And I think he made himself available. I went in, I shook his hand, introduced myself, and we started chatting. And I said to him, listen, your talk was fantastic. Everything I just explained to you guys now. And I said, listen, if you, I'd be really stoked if you just took this keyring as a little, token of gratitude. And he said, oh, that's cool. He's actually been looking for a keyring for a while. And, I've
still got it on my keys.
I want to see it, eh? I'm going to prove that. You can't just, it's okay. I'll take your word for it for now. But and that it broke the ice so nicely. I was stoked that he took the keyring. And he asked where I got it from, and I said, "No, well, I make them," and that was another sort of key interest point for him. And what really struck me and what humbled me was how honestly interested AJ. Okay, it's cool. How honestly interested AJ seemed in the story that I was telling him. So I explained to him that it's not like we earn a crappy salary; we earn decent salaries, but the house and the kids and everything else in life happens. And okay, cool. I'm happy. Thank you, AJ. I've got yours at the office still as well, Dan. So you need to just the next time I'll bring it to you on Tuesday. And Ozzy, you just need to tell me what your two favorite colors are, and I'll make you one as well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So AJ seemed genuinely interested in the story, and I thought, well, I'm going to tell him about what I'm doing. And I said to him, I sell the keyrings on the side, and it gives me a couple of extra bucks, and every bit of little extra money that I get, I'm putting towards a trip I want to take, hopefully next year. But it's quite an undertaking. And he said, well, what's the trip? And I explained to him that I want to hike the Colorado Trail. And he said, oh, shit, so you're into hiking? Cool. Tell me about it. And I told him that I just walked the Tanqua Camino. So I'm wearing my shirt. I'm very happy about that. So I did a 260K hike through the Tanqua Karoo, 10 days. It was brutal. I felt it. It was sore. I had blisters. But it was an epic experience. And for the longest time, I've been saying that I want to do something like seriously grand before I turn 40 next year, 2020. And at one stage, I climbed onto the scale, and the scale reading was 169.8 kgs. And I said, absolutely. Sorry, AJ, can I swear or not?
Yeah, absolutely, you can swear.
Okay, cool. All right. So I said, not a fuck am I, pardon my French, not a fuck am I going to go over 170. I will not touch 170. That was the day I made my decision. And telling AJ that story as well, also really, like, I saw the sparkle in his eye, and he said, like, I felt like he was proud of the fact that I'd made the decision, just because I had hit my crisis point, and that was my disaster. And he said that's exactly what he's talking about, just like managing your thoughts, making the decision, getting off your ass and doing something about it. And that was the day that I decided, well, I'm going to do something about it. I literally finished supper that night. I put my shoes on, I put a harness and a leash on my Great Dane, and we went for a walk around the cricket field that's just over there in the distance. And being a guy who's 170 odd kgs and not someone who's terrifically active, I did 2 laps around what is a double cricket field for all intents and purposes and walked back, and sort of felt like I was going to die. Because it's quite a hill to climb to get back up to the house. And I said, no, you bugger it. I'm going to carry on. And I carried on, and I started cutting down my dinner portions in the evening down to half of what it normally would be. At that point, my dad was still cooking for us upstairs. So we all went and ate upstairs as a family, but he made very starch heavy meals. And I knew that this obviously wasn't beneficial either. So I just cut down my meal portions to half, and then would put on my shoes directly after supper and then go walk. And Danielle, my wife, joined in on the activities as well. And eventually the boys, my sons, did as well. And we just started walking together, and 2 laps around the field became 4, became 6. And eventually we were doing like 10 laps around the field, and then making our way back. And it was like, and I saw the change within, I think the first 6 months, I dropped about 20 kgs, maybe just shy of 20. And then I've sort of just been floating thereabouts, and I'm maintaining the walking for the most part, although Danielle would say otherwise. I think I'm relatively active. I walk most days. She's beating my ass lately though, because she gets up early bells when I'm getting the boys ready for school. She goes out for a walk. So as we leave the house, we sort of pass her on the road. But yeah, it's been a decision, and I said that something epic before I turned 40. Colorado Trail was definitely going to be it. It's 800 kilometers. It's through the Rocky Mountains in central Colorado. It's going to take about 5 to 6 weeks to do, and I have no doubt that I could do it as I am now. But I know that losing a whole lot more weight and becoming a lot stronger is going to make it that much easier and probably that much more enjoyable. And what I like to get out of this at the end of the day is something that I've got really, really fond memories of. Albeit that it's going to be hard, albeit that it's going to be painful. I don't want there to be the thought that I'm going to, injure myself or not be able to finish because of some other health issue that comes up.
Okay, so thank you for being honest and vulnerable and telling your story. So I'll just take off there. So yes. That day, I really saw someone that started a journey that I could see that want to change and want to, become better in whatever. And yours is the weight. And yeah, I'd really immediately I thought, what can I do in a little way to maybe. And anyway, I went home that day, but that night, you were kind of in my thoughts, and I woke up the next morning. And I thought, okay, well, it's got to be something that we can do. So you really want to go on the trip. You really don't want to do this walk. One, it's costly to do the trip, so it's hard to get that money together. And two, you want to be fit, like you say, when you do it. So briefly, then what I did is the next day I phoned Jason and I said, listen, I'll do whatever I can to get someone, a few of my mates to sponsor the trip, but you really want to lose weight. So what I suggest is, if you want to, and I still said to him, don't answer me now, take the whole weekend and contact me on Monday morning. And I said,
that was a Saturday morning that you phoned me, right?
Saturday morning, yeah. So I said to him, take the weekend, don't answer now, but if you're going to go in this thing, you've got to know that it's got to be flat out. You've got to be vulnerable. You've got to tell a story. You've got to be able to show photographs from you now, and hopefully 2 years later, you weigh 100 kilograms or whatever less, I don't know. But you've got to be out there. You're going to tell your story. And so on the Monday morning, I think 4 o'clock, I got a message from Jason. He said he hasn't slept since Saturday. He's 100% in, committed to this thing. And so that's where the whole thing started. So I then basically started phoning around, and I got hold of Danielle through Jimmy Wright, that works at the Sharks Rugby Union. And as Danny has said, she's a specialist as a dietitian. And Ozzy got introduced through you guys in terms of training. There's also, you guys have also got a gym at Dorifco that's very funky, and Candice is there as the gym instructor. And instructor. You see, the Afrikaans sometimes come through, and then the tongue just goes. So, Candice, when Ozzy isn't available, Candice will help at Dorifco's gym, and Dorifco's also been bloody amazing in assisting with this whole process as well. So now we're sitting in the situation where we've got to make a bit of a plan today, because we've got to, in 6 months or a year, or whenever you're going to do the trip, we've got to get the funds. And in order to get the funds, we've got to have a plan. And I want us to come up with a plan tonight, guys. Maybe put ourselves a bit on the spot here. Maybe put every one of you guys under pressure to say, okay, what is it that we can realistically achieve in terms of what measurement? Is that measurement weight? Is it a fat percentage? Is it what do you call it, the size around the midriff, or whatever is that thing? And I think, in the next 10 or 15 or 20 minutes, we kind of should come up with one little plan, so that when people listen to this, and when they listen to our next podcast in 4 or 5 months, we can say, listen, that's where we started off with Jason, and we are now on target or over target. And who wants to come with us on this journey to get Jason on this walking trip in Colorado? Who's going to go first?
Yeah, I mean, look, as I had thought, we originally said weight, Jason. I mean, just the fact that you got to that 169.8, and you yourself have cut it down. When I met you, I think you were 159.
No, 151.9, the day that we took our first measurements. Yeah.
So, I mean, you had done a lot on your own, which I just think is really remarkable, actually. And so we put you on the scale. The scale that I've got is quite cool, because it does muscle, it does fat. Because, I always say to people, you can get on a scale. In fact, I had someone today, they got on a scale and they gained 600 grams. And if you get on a scale like that, it's a little bit disheartening. But when you look at the stats, that 600 grams of weight was actually that they gained 300 grams of muscle, and they lost 2.5 kilos of fat. So, that's a little bit more motivating. So then you've got to question whether actually weight is really valid. Because if you look at AJ, when you were at the Sharks, what was your weight?
Around about 115, 114, yeah. So 115, but probably incredibly lean. Not too bad. I was always one of the fat oaks, but okay, I'll take that.
Nah, rubbish.
The guys that end up in my office, yeah. So you can be 115 kilos like AJ was, and I would think 13 to 15% body fat. and look incredible, you know. But also, you could be 115 kilos with 30% body fat, not look so great. So I think a good measurement is maybe like a waist size, two things, you know, like to fit into a size 32 or 34, you know, size pants, let's say, and a fat percent goal. So we take a fat percent goal and get it to, you know, whatever we can decide. You know, for men, it should be between 10 to 18%. So you're obviously not a super athlete. So even an 18%, I think we can look at whatever you've started with and get it down there. So that's and a waist size. And
Danny, can I just stop? Sorry, let's quickly stop. Jay, can you sit somewhere internal where there's no wind?
I can. I'll make a plan. Hang on a sec.
Because otherwise, you know, this thing goes on.
Yeah, no, I figured the wind is
where you
starting to
can't
interfere a
see
little
it.
bit.
So
Is it
people,
windy?
yeah, he's got a lot of wind.
There's a bit of a stiff breeze.
I got no wind here.
Me too.
No wind.
No,
Not inside. There's no wind outside.
Yeah, but
It's
also,
so-
I mean,
it's
it
most
must be
beautiful
coming from
evening.
the south because there's nothing here either.
Yeah, it's most beautiful weather. Should all be taking a walk on the beach.
Yeah.
it's a little dark. If it's okay with you guys, I'm just going to chill on my bed then.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Just switch on all the lights you got there and
Yeah.
sorry to
Thank
stop
God
you
no one
there,
was-
Danny.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's
not.
fine. But yeah, so I think whatever belt size you are now, or whatever you're buying now or wearing now, you know, you need to have a goal, or maybe you have a pair of jeans that you used to own, that you could fit back into, unless we're going to make you even more ripped and buff than when you had that pair as well. And then, yeah, definitely a fat percent. And obviously maybe, you know, muscle gain, but a fat percent is a nice one. But I think weight is it's just one of those things that, you know, you could weigh yourself and be really disappointed because you've gained 3 kilos, but actually you're a whole size smaller.
So,
Yeah.
what was Jay's fat percentage when you guys measured him the other day?
I'll have to check actually.
It was epic.
I think
It was a huge number.
It was high. I'm going to say it's like close to 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I recall, I think it was in the high 40s, but then I could be wrong
48.
as well.
Can you check it
high.
now, Danny, possibly? Can you check it now or not?
It was off the charts. Did I email it to you, Joe?
You did, yes. Or
Okay, I'll
didn't you send it on the WhatsApp group?
I'll look now on the WhatsApp
Yeah.
group. That's a good thing.
Ozzy, while they looking up, so in terms of training, obviously there's a certain way you got to start with, Jay, right? I mean, it's like Danny said, he's not a professional athlete right now, so there's a way. What are you planning from your side?
Yes, 100%. With Jay, the first thing obviously that I cover, and one of the main aspects that I do with most of my clients is obviously laying that foundation. And what I mean by laying the foundation, it's teaching Jay how to train. I think that's the most important skill that you first need to develop in terms of obviously basic strength training. I think too many of us go into the gym and we're so focused on fancy programs, lifting heavy weights, where we don't actually acquire the skill of training. So the first step that I obviously take is getting Jay's technique sound. And I do this by obviously taking him through a wide range of exercises. And then we focus heavily on technique with low weights. And then obviously once he's comfortable, we start obviously increasing the load slightly to what he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
And then straight up after that, once he's comfortable, we start including certain rep schemes. And what I mean by that is currently we're doing something called high intensity density training. And basically what that includes is a few exercises back to back. And what we're doing is we're doing them to high reps. So because he's not strong at the moment, we're increasing the reps and keeping the load relatively low. And then once we establish that, then we obviously go into our method currently we're doing something called high rep density training, whereby we're taking a few exercises and performing them back to back. And each exercise is either 15 reps or above. And what this does is it elicits a certain hormonal response in the body. Now, what research has obviously shown that when lactate or lactic acid is present in the blood, the body then releases a hormone called growth hormone, which is a fat mobilizing hormone. And what it does is it actually takes fat and pulls it into the blood for energy. So all our training is obviously focused on developing a lot of lactate and a lot of lactic acid in the blood currently, because you're trying to pull that fat into the blood.
Okay, thanks, buddy. Your line is a little bit bad, but we'll get back to you now. Danny, did you get that number there?
Yeah, so I've got it on my phone here. I don't know if you can see, but basically he's got 63 kilos of fat, and it was 41%, 41.9, so 42%. So, you know, that we need to try and get, I think, to the top of the range, 18.
Okay, and so over what period do you think is that achievable in?
Realistically,
I would say, I mean, you know, I think initially you would tend to lose quite a bit of fat. But I would say, look, so you've got a good 22 kilos of fat to lose.
At least. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, no, sorry, 22%. So you've got 40 kilos, of fat to lose. I would say a year is a push if you work really hard. But it probably can be done if you're, super disciplined, committed, you know. We normally say kind of 2 kilos a month. But like I said, because obviously it's so high, you would probably find
lose a little bit quicker.
You will drop quite a lot. Yeah. So a year's an ask, but I think you can do it.
What can we set short-term goals initially, so to say for the next 2 months? Obviously we're going to lose, like you say, a little bit more weight in the first 2 months, or fat in the first 2 months, and then it's going to get slower. So what can we set for now until the end of January, for example? Is there something we can say that's realistic?
Yeah, I think we can go like 8 to 10 kilos of fat.
Okay.
I would say, you know, so that's kilos of fat, not a percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's quite realistic, actually. And then we'll see. So Jay, I'm seeing you on Tuesday.
Yeah, I've got to weigh in with you on Tuesday. Yeah.
The shift from two weeks ago will be quite big, you know. And, you know, but also remembering, like I say, sometimes because you're training with Ozzy and it sounds like he's, you know, putting you through the steps, you've probably also gained quite a bit of muscle. But to start with, you had quite a lot of muscle as well.
Yeah, I think the number was, you said it was somewhere around 50 kgs of skeletal muscle mass. Yeah.
Yeah, like a rugby player. So, you know, so you do have, I mean, you could even lose a little bit of muscle. That's fun as well.
So, Jay, are you happy? And Ozzy, are we all happy to commit to that number? And now's the time to say, hey, I don't want to commit to that number, because if we commit to that number, we want to either beat that, or we want to get it or beat it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to commit. I'm happy to do whatever it's going to take. I don't have the know-how, and that's where Danny and Ozzy come in. So as long as the coaching is there and they're happy to put in the time and the effort, I'm happy to match that effort, pound for pound.
No, and
I must say at the Rivco, that you know, the food there I think it's quite easy to do. It's right there at your fingertips. It's not like you asking you to go buy salad. No, it's right there.
Yeah, and I was thinking about the right words earlier. Your eating plan that you gave me is manageable, absolutely manageable. Is it easy? No, because I'm the kind of guy who likes snacks. So so manageable, yes. Achievable, yes. Are all the boxes ticked in terms of what's available for me to eat at the office? Yes. Is it easy to just not go up to the other cafe and get something not so good to eat? No, that's the hard part. But that's the part where Ozzy's Ozzy's motivations coming through, but then as well as AJ with the thoughts, just setting your thoughts right, getting your thoughts right, taking out the bad thoughts and replacing it with good thoughts. And so far it's been pretty successful.
Yeah, and your friend Nick as well.
I suppose
Yeah,
that's
and
the
Nick keeps me in line
discipline.
too.
That's the discipline side, I think, of life. I think of anything really, isn't it? I mean,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter whether it is eating or whether it is work ethic or whether it is relationship, people, committing to a partner. It's discipline. And I know you've got the discipline. You've already shown it. So all you need is a few good people around that you've got now to commit. So I don't even think that I don't even think you will drop that ball. You're gonna drop it once or twice. You're gonna maybe one or twice. You're gonna have flipping a chocolate or when you shouldn't be, but that's okay. We're just human. But I suppose that for the most of the time, listen, my stupid little story when my cholesterol went quite high. I decided to go vegan for 3 months. Ended up doing it for almost a year and a half properly. And you know what? The funny thing is, once you've kind of crossed that 2-3 months barrier, it becomes your lifestyle. And that's
absolutely
the key in anything. If you can just push through, the now is the worst bit. Right now, you're in the worst place right now because your body still says, hey, I want that stuff that I charge normally. It's pulling you this way. But it doesn't need to be. And eventually you get used to it and you get into the routine and you get used to the new style. And a few months later, you look back and you go, I can't even remember. I ate so many, whatever, chocolates or whatever it was,
Yeah, it's a lifestyle. That's what we're also trying to, because we don't want to get you, to Colorado and you do your walk and then that's it. It's going forward. I mean, you're young,
Absolutely.
so you're going to turn 40, you're going to be fabulous at 40, and then that's going to be your lifestyle, 80-20 rule. That's what I always say. 80% of the time.
80-20.
Yeah. Now maybe a little bit more 90-10.
Yeah. Okay, but that's fine because that's what it's going to take. So I'm happy with that.
Exactly.
Guys, that I'm happy with that. So we push the button, right? So what is it? How many kilograms?
8 to 10 kilos of fat.
8 to 10 kilos of fat, and we'll measure and have a chat again at the end of January, beginning February.
Yeah. And like I say, in December, I know it's Christmas time and it's festive season, but I always find it the easiest time. What I say to the Sharks rugby players, actually, for the guys in the fat squad, when you but it's true. That's not my name for them, by the way.
No, we were called the fatties. We were called the fatties. I was part of the fatties of the Sharks.
Yeah, the fat squad. And so for them, I always say when you go away and when you're sitting at home and you are on holiday, basically, that's actually the time when you've got more time to maybe exercise a little bit longer, make a healthier meal, go for an extra walk in the day. Because you're not sitting at your desk. So technically, you've got more time to make your lifestyle a little bit better.
Mm.
Yeah.
Listen, Ozzy, I don't know if your line is better, buddy. Can you say something?
Looks a bit better.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? 100%.
No, it's good. So, I think let's maybe call this for this one. I want to say a few things. I want to say firstly to Ozzy and Danny, thank you so much for you guys giving up your time. For everyone that's listening, both these people are doing everything for free for Jason, as well as I apologize. I just can't remember the girl that the psychologist on the chat. I'm sorry for now.
The life coach, Judy.
Judy. Sorry, Judy.
Yeah, sorry, Judy.
Judy is a life coach, and she also got involved with Jason. She's also helping us. We're going to have a chat to her on another podcast about another few things. So thank you for Judy as well. And guys, let's make this happen. Jason,
AJ, let's not forget Nick. Let's not forget Nick.
Yes,
we can't
Nick
forget
friend.
Nick.
Oh, Nick,
Yeah.
you beauty.
No,
Sorry, Nick. Ooh, I'm in trouble now.
Yeah, his direct support structure.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Nick,
absolutely,
Nick is a friend of yours and a colleague at the
Yes.
Rivco. And
Yes,
Nick,
he
in
keeps
fact,
me in check.
Nick plays for the Springbok touch rugby team.
Touch rugby, that's right.
Yes, yes. And Nick is giving you some good friendship support.
Reinforcement.
Reinforcement. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, good reinforcement.
good luck through this December period, my bud. Give it stick, man.
I will, AJ, I promise.
Great
Yeah, I'm
stuff.
on your case.
No,
Yeah.
I know you will be.
Ozzy, my brother, thank you so much. Sorry we couldn't hear you, Lekker.
Always a pleasure, though. I'll definitely be better prepared next time.
Okay, my bud. All right, guys. Listen, have
Thanks,
a good
AJ, for having
nice
us.
chat. We'll do it again in a few months.
Yeah.
Thanks,
awesome.
AJ.
Cheers,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.